player at all. Good afternoon and welcome to Toffee TV. It's Thursday the 7th of August. 2 days before Everton play their first friendly at, well, the first game with fans at the new Hill Dickinson Stadium. They take on Roma, who were pummeled by Aston Villa last night, which is never great. But there you go. There you go.
Are there any occasions where a good pummeling's okay?
Oh, lots of, but not before Everton played the teams. Never a good idea. How are you feeling today? You know,
All right.
feeling a bit livelier today? I don't.
A bit lively? You fell asleep on the couch yesterday?
I'm asking you, because I was saying, I still feel groggy. I was just asking you. I woke up at 4 and was awake till 5:30. And it's ruined me. If it would have just been able to sleep through, I'd have been sound. But it did ruin me. But anyway, Everton completed the signing of Kieran Dewsbury Hall. Dave Bobler was fuming because he always thought his name's Kieran. There you go. That's one for Dave. Links still continuing, obviously, with Tyler Dibbling. Stuff coming out last night. He's asked to leave. He wants to join Everton, blah, blah, blah. And obviously also Jack Grealish. Yeah. Stuff was out yesterday, which is not convinced it's new.
No.
Because Everton have been interested all summer. Where do you think, out of those two, Everton should spend most of their expend most of their energy, or should Everton just be trying to get both of them in?
I think Everton will get both of them.
Do you?
I do.
Actually think?
I do. I think Everton will get both of them. It's not. It's not a case of one appearing because the other one's not happening.
Yeah, yeah.
So I do. I actually think we'll get both of them. I don't mean that in like a. I don't mean that in the. I don't know, in like a big-headed sense at all. I just think we've been after Grealish for a while.
Yeah, yeah.
And it seems like we're just playing the game with City, as we've said, unless somebody comes in. You know, and obviously Spurs, there's been talk of Spurs. No, that could definitely happen. You know. But I just think that Dibbling as well is like... Dibbling's almost like the younger version of Jack Grealish. I feel like if you got one and then you had the other one and you allowed the other one that opportunity to settle into the club and grow while the other one was at the club, and then I think yeah, it'd be huge if we did get both, but I do think we could pull it off. I do think there's a big opportunity there to do it. It's just how brave and how ambitious they are. It's that's how I look at it. You know, listen, we've gone so close. I think what Southampton is asking for with the back end stuff is just ridiculous. I really do. I think that's ridiculous. Everton have obviously are willing to go to a certain place, but I think, like I said yesterday, you can't have it both ways. You can't sit there and go, we want a massive field front, but we also want a big field at the back. Yeah, that's ridiculous to me. So we'll see what happens. But I think we can get. Whether it happens is a different thing. I suppose it's how much David Moyes pushes the club to get it over the line and what he sees. But very interesting.
Well, Alex has come in with a super chat, so thank you very much for that. It says, I can't wrap my head around Dibbling being too much of 50 million, but Grealish on loan for a year is worth it. Grealish on loan package alone would be 16 million. Half in wages and half in loan fee. Everton won't pay 16 million, Alex, quite simply. Anything of that is nonsense if you're reading that Everton aren't paying that kind of money for them, first and foremost. Dibbling totals 14 million a year across 5 years, including wages. With resale value and potential, this kid's going to be a world beater. Okay. We'll see. That remains to be seen. Please give this some thought. The numbers speak for themselves. Well, you're taking numbers that journalists are putting out there, in my opinion. If they're the accurate numbers, Everton aren't paying for Jack Grealish 15, 16 million pound for one season. It ain't happening. So
nobody is.
No one is.
No one's paying 16 million.
Right,
no one's paying that money, and that's why I don't think it'll happen that way.
The most I think Everton will end up paying for him is maybe half of his, about maybe between 7 and 10 million for the season. Everton won't pay more than that. The numbers I've heard is 8 million for the season. bound whether that's right or wrong. Everton aren't
Still a
paying,
lot of money, like, but
it's a lot of money. But if Jack Grealish gets you 3 places higher in the league, it pays for itself. Well, more than pays for itself. And Everton will be on live a bit more, which would he would, and that's £1.2 million a time or whatever it is, some crazy thing, you know. And it's all about prize money. So who knows? It's not for us as fans to worry about if the manager and Everton recruitment feel that Jack Grealish is worth it for 8-10 million a season for one season. They'll do it, won't they? Dibbling's different because Dibbling is Dibbling's an investment, isn't he? Really. But you look at it and go, this is he's going to be amazing. But there's a chance that he won't be amazing as well, because he hasn't been amazing.
He's a young lad.
He looks like he's got lots of talent. Me and James have just been having this before, just having a chat about it. And the money that Everton are going to pay, you'd expect this lad to come and change our team.
Exactly.
And I don't think he is going to change our team. I think he makes us better, because he's miles better than anything we've got. But imagine a year ago going, Everton might spend 50 million or 60 million on a player, a winger, or you'd expect double figure goals, double figure chance creation. Is he going to bring that? Now he could, because he's all potential, but the chances are he might not as well, and therefore that's where you start going, this feels a lot of money. However, he is sort of 6'1" or something. He can run. He's a good dribbler. So we could, Alex is right, maybe in a couple of years, if he does really well, those numbers might get up to 75, 80 million. We want them to, because that means he's been really good for Everton. That's probably why Everton haven't walked away, because they're looking at the potential and going, if we get this kid right, we're making money on him as well.
It's just, obviously, the Russell Martin thing, we
have to have caveats with that is Russell Martin.
No, I'm just saying that some of potential, that there's so much potential there. That's what you're paying for, aren't you? You're paying for potential and longevity. You're paying for the longevity of a player so young that you could have them or you could sell them and they'd still be young when you sell them and you'd still make money. And that's why the back end stuff at Southampton, I think, is silly. It's
the saying to James, like, Amadou Onana, isn't it? I mean, the irony is he's exactly what Everton need right now in that midfield. If you had him, Trisha Gay and Dewsbury Hall in the midfield, you'd be doing well. I think Moyes would love him. But we had Amadou Onana for 2 seasons. We paid £30 million for him. Yeah, we could have got him a year earlier at 11 million, but we didn't. We paid 30 million. We had him for 2 seasons. He'd done quite well for Everton. We sold him for 50. We made a profit on him at £20 million. If we got Tyler Dibbling for, let's just say 50 million, right? To me, it's still a bit too much, but let's say 50 million. Had them for 2 to 3 seasons and sold them for 75, 80 million. And he'd done well for us. That's a good bit of business. That money gets invested back in and you go again. That's the only way Everton are going to get themselves into a position where they might challenge for a Europa League, Champions League, confident place by doing these deals. I think right now, until we can keep up on our commercial deals, getting on telly more, which all brings the money in, which means you're in a much better position. The only way we climb up the league is by doing deals like this.
I think now and again you're going to have to take a swing, aren't you?
No, you are as well.
You're going to have to take a swing, aren't you, and take it at one of these players. This kid is rated really, really highly. And listen, have I seen loads of them? No. I've seen match of the day highlights like everybody else. But I'm massively aware of the potential here. I remember I was watching a Southampton game where they were beating Man United. Yeah. And he looked unbelievable. No, he was brilliant. And then you remember the Carabao Cup game at Goodison? He come on at half time for them and was really, really good. Didn't notice so much of him at the end of the season when we beat them, but certainly, and down at St Mary's when they did beat us, he had a good little cameo. So, but again, that United game where they were 2-0 up, he was really, really good. He played really. And at little moments like that, and you know, you take that over the season, and obviously you've got to get a player who can play all of the season. And young players do sort of flit into seasons, and it's known when to put them in and take them out. It's one of them, isn't it? It's this price could look like a bargain in a couple of years. It could, though. It could. No, it could. I'm not being funny. We've got
Do you think it's time?
we've got players moving all over the place for unbelievable amounts of money, and you look at them and think, and they're on the rebound as well. There's one leaving this city today who's on the rebound and he's going for more money. Of course, he'll score lots of goals where he's going, but what I'm saying is like a rebound player. There's so much money sloshing about. Why shouldn't Southampton think we deserve a bit of that? And it might be the way prices are going. Again, sometimes you have a price in your head and you think that's ridiculous. But then you look at the state of the market and you think, well, is it that ridiculous when you're looking at players leaving and signing for clubs, all over the place? And you think,
They do. That particular country do inflate prices, though.
Yeah.
Because it's no one else is paying 50 odd million for Darwin Núñez.
But there's prices being inflated all over the place, though.
Yeah, well, yeah, we were saying, weren't we, that almost like average players are 30 million quid now. That used to be 10.
Yeah.
Now it's like 25 to 30. But that's why, my opinion, the Dewsbury Hall signing is a really good deal. 25 million, or the experience he's got, the ability he's got. I think that's a brilliant bit of business by Everton. Maybe if you try, you can work it out different ways. Do you think maybe that we should stop worrying about how much we're paying for things because it feels like...
No, I don't think we should. I don't think we should. I think you should always look for value in every player that.
No, I don't mean. I mean as fans. I don't mean.
No, that's what I mean.
Because we've got owners who seem to be.
I think even as fans, though, you have to you can't just. I don't think you can just sit. You've got to. Every player's got to be worth something.
Yeah.
That way, that's the only way you can sort of. It's the only way you can. It's only when you sign a player, do you know what you're. If Everton was to sign a bang average player and we all thought he was terrible, if we bought him for £3 million and we were like, he's a squad player, there's a reason we're signing this player, you can get your head round it using the price as
of course, yeah.
as the thing, isn't it? Whereas if you pay if you pay 15 million or whatever for that player, then you go, what are we doing? Who's the judgment is wrong because you are paying X amount of money. I think the price is always the thing where you can look at it and go, who is making these decisions? I think bidding against yourself isn't always the best thing as well. If there's no other team in the race, if you've got, if there's a player out there that you think you want and it's the absolute player that you want, I think, and he's going to change your team, I think you have to meet the value. Because you've seen that he's a proven player and he is the player you want to go into that position. I think you have to sometimes pay what you want. But on this one, it's a really difficult one because you are paying for potential more than anything else. There's no clear evidence other than probably, a really good YouTube video out there of his skills with a tremendous bit of grime in the background playing over the top of it. I'm sure James can find that video right now because he plays us a video every week before we do Club Call. That is one of his favourites.
Wait, what video will put?
So he was working, he just woke up. I was saying, like a Tyler Diblin video on YouTube, all his skills and stuff, just see if you can find. But it's got to have a bit of grime over it though, otherwise it doesn't count.
Right.
It doesn't count, mate.
Yeah.
No, that's the only way to look at it, isn't it? The price. If you pay way over the odds for someone and we all agree that play's not amazing, then you have to look at the judgment of the people who are making those decisions. It's the only way we can do it, isn't it? We've got to still always have that judgment over things.
Tom S says PSG are willing to sell Lee Kang for 30 to 35 million. He's cheaper and more physically stronger version of Kubo. Yeah, I mean, who knows what they're looking at. Go and get Barcola for Liverpool, do. Imagine Bradley Barcola. Yeah, I'll go to Everton, yeah, no problem. JT says, I've been daft and watched a lot of Dibbling compilations, but I now know he's better than Messi and Yamal combined. That's what it'll do to you. That's what it'll do to you. Crimson VRS says, could make a Netflix docu-series about Everton during transfer window. Think that's a bit harsh.
Yeah, I don't think ours is any. I don't think ours is any sort of worse than anybody else's out of the top 4 or 5. I think ours
for Liverpool, but he's actually going on forever.
Ours is pretty much the same. It's just because we're closer to it and we know what we need.
Yeah.
But a lot of other clubs haven't spent lots of. Newcastle's is not cheap enough to be brilliant. Is it?
Newcastle are having an absolute nightmare, aren't they? Nightmare.
They've also got that lad in Ibiza, and that doesn't help things.
Normally, the Ibiza bosses are even there for them, hasn't he? It's all over. Alex, there's no... Where have you got this 8 million in City's loan fee from? You've heard it from journalists. It won't be... Everton won't do a deal like that. So I wouldn't worry about it, mate, honestly. Tidy Friday says, guys, the USA stuff was superb. Nice to see Ped giving the movie locations some love. Of course, that's the thing that excites him. Everton don't excite him. No. Football doesn't excite him, but the movies loves it. Mopai getting his contract terminated, apparently.
Yeah, apparently, yeah.
Could go to Newcastle. Couldn't he? They need a striker.
I can't see it, but, you know.
I don't know. They're desperate. Take anyone. Which means Dom might get his 160 grand a week. Because they're going to need something, aren't they? They're in a hole, aren't they? David Owen says, I'd stay well clear of dribbling.
Why? I mean, why? What's the context?
Crimson VRS says, for 50 million, you'd expect someone more proven in a top 5 league. Madueke was cheaper. Yeah, well, listen, it is what it is, isn't it? We can't, I guess we can't, well, we can. We can't analyse everything Everton do and everyone. We can all come up with other, we can all come up with other names, can't we? Yeah. Tom, yeah, I'm on it next, well, whenever they release the second, it was done in two chunks this week. I don't know what it'll be like, mate. I was seeing like 5 of everybody by the time it comes to our filming, so I don't know.
Greg's the bad guy on the first one, isn't he?
I believe so, yeah. I didn't see it, I wasn't in the room.
Yeah, people are really angry at him.
Come over like a bad dick, apparently.
Greg did?
Yeah.
You know the Crystal Palace fan, the one on Twitter?
Dan, yeah.
He's like explaining like how the text doesn't own them and stuff anymore, and that like it's not fair than on the Europa League, and he keeps talking over them and like just like dismissing them, and people have got really annoyed.
Greg did?
Yeah. Because Greg's like proper adamant that like Forest deserve to be worthy in the, and like Palace cheated and stuff.
But then he's saying like Forest have been dodgy as well.
Yeah, but then Gallagher said to him something like, "Didn't you say Forest was dodgy when it was all right? Because you have to break the rules sometimes."
Now, a lot of stuff has came out about him with old tweets and stuff, and people really aren't happy with him. He's been private on all social media.
Yeah, but they filmed the first second, so I was laying on a couch somewhere waiting to go in, so I hadn't seen any of that. Wow. Greg Sanders, but they're both nice. Dan's a nice lad as well, both nice lads, but you can defend your team, but you have to also think, hang on. Like,
I'd like to think if that happened to us, we'd be like, this shouldn't be happening to Palace.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, but what I said about Palace was...
It's hard to be in the Conference League anyway.
In a way, I was going to say, in a way. Said this before.
Yeah.
I actually think it'll benefit Crystal Palace being in that, because I think they'll get 2 years in Europe. They're not getting in Europe in the league. I'm saying, I'm sticking my neck out now. And especially if Mark Gay goes to there's Liverpool, Chelsea and Arsenal today, isn't it? Who won them apparently. Palace could come up a bit short, but they've got a great chance of winning the Conference League, which means they'd be in the Europa League next season. So I know you'd be frustrated, but they could look and go, well, we could win this Conference League. We've got good players. But the Europa League, I don't think they've got a chance of winning the Europa League, but they've got a chance of winning the Conference League. Then you build again next year and go for it, don't you? But we'll see.
But also in the same breath, you want to play sort of the big names, don't you?
If you offered me the Conference League, mate, I'd be so happy.
No, what I mean by that is, I wouldn't go on a show like that and present myself and I haven't watched it properly, so I'm not gonna but I wouldn't. So I'd like to think that if that same thing happened to us, I'd still be like, Palace have been wronged, because Palace have been wronged.
No, they have.
Yeah, they've been massively wronged, and I'd like to.
Also an admin mistake.
And I'd like to think that we'd all be like, this is if they do bumpers, fine, but if they don't, then it's all right, because that's just the way it is. you know, to
if they weren't in Europe, then it'd be an absolute disgrace.
To puff your chest out and be like, you cheated is like...
Isn't it a thing, though, that Texter and Maranachas are like, they're like a duo now? Didn't he sell everything to him?
Yeah, he's trying to like... but he sold all the Botafogo players to him, didn't he?
Yeah. No, so that's even dodgier.
Yeah, it's dodgy as hell. There's a thing about like the last game of the season, isn't it, in the French league and all kinds? No, genuinely, I'm not just a thing in the saying like.
No, I'm saying that.
The player who scored the goal, like, and all this is like it's all interconnected. It's like it's proper like Charlie and only Sonny. It's proper like, you know, there's a proper conspiracy theories about them and how they helped them get into Europe and all this kind. Like because where Leon finished, it meant this happened and I know it is too much, but yeah, I'd have kept me part of the day on that one. I probably would have just gone in if I was on that show going, yeah, it's bad and stuff.
Mad. Eugene, I wouldn't read too much into a team talk exclusive that said Grealish, my favourite move to Spurs. Everything that you're hearing in the Northwest where the lad lives is he favours a move to Everton.
Team talk, though.
I'd take no team talk. Come on.
Team
it's defo some lad in his bedroom.
Yeah.
Garrett says, "Die lads, nice to have you back. Hope you've caught up with sleep. Is it just me, or is it getting a play like Dewsbury Hall and lifted everyone's spirits?" I can't speak for everyone, but I think it's a really good sign. So, yeah, we'll see. Neil Webster says, "Is Dibbling better than Gordon?" Then surely yes. Is he better than Gordon?
Different players, aren't they? Different kind of players. One's a pure dribbler, one's pace, isn't he? Loads of people like I've seen this. So people in the comments about Budweiser. Can I just? I'm not going to say the phrase, but like it's not just Budweiser on tap. People get that, don't they? Budweiser is the overarching company of it. AB Bev, the same way. Like Heineken is the thing for the other. So there's like only like 2 beer companies. I mean, there's more, but what I mean is giant ones, or 2 or 3. And Budweiser's the one we've signed with, and they have lots of different beers, and hopefully those beers will all be available in the ground. So it's not just Budweiser that's going to be available. It's going to be a range, I imagine, of different beers. Hopefully Goose Island will be available. It's fantastic. So it's not just going to be Budweiser. There's this idea it's just going to be Bud everywhere. I don't think it is. They have a massive amount of beers that are of Stella. I think Stella's one of them, isn't it, as well? And there's loads they have. So
I mean,
no, I'm just saying, like, that's people like getting caught up. I think it's right that we provide that information. It's like it's not just Budweiser. There's Camden Hall. Is it Camden Halls?
Camden Hells.
Hells, yeah. Sorry, that's they do nice. As well. They do that as well. There's loads. They have a big portfolio of beers. They don't just sell Budweiser. So Corona. No, I don't know if anyone wants Corona.
But you never. What I was gonna say. I mean, I'm not a big beer drinker anyway. You know what I mean? I like an IPA, so a Camden Hells, if I was ever going to have one, is a nice drink, but I don't drink ale at the match anyway, so it's like me commenting, I suppose, but I feel like this was one that not everyone was going to agree with anyway, regardless, whoever it had been. Forget Budweiser, whichever company would have took it over. Seen people going, we should have just used local breweries. Well, loads of people wouldn't have wanted local breweries.
The problem with local breweries is, I imagine, is they can't provide. They can't provide what a massive company.
But it's money.
Like,
we can't. I see this more and more, and I believe personally, we can't have our cake and eat it.
It's not just about money, though. It's about service, isn't it? It's about service.
No, but if you break it down, right, people for years, me included, you included, other people, have wanted better commercial deals for the football club, bigger money coming in to create. Everton's commercial income for years had been an absolute joke, really. John Blaine has explained it many a times, what it looks like with other people. And when you start getting these deals in, I don't think you can criticise too much. Like I said, I'm probably the wrong person.
But what I'm saying is, though, it's not beer, just...
But what I mean is Budweiser is a big name. I've paid a premium to come in.
It's not just that, though, is it? It's actually...
can you do what you need to do? Yes. Can you provide enough what you need?
So they do Beck's, Boddingtons, Bud, Camden Hills, Corona, honestly, Goose Island's the one that they want to get in the ground. Leaf.
Is that a beer, is it, Goose Island?
It's like an IPA.
Oh, is it?
Really nice, really. Leaf is lovely. Because I had all these on my perfect draft.
Okay, yeah.
There's I had a lot of them. So Leaf, and there's loads of different versions of Leaf. There's like a Christmas Leaf. Beautiful. Honestly, beautiful. Who else did he have? Magnus.
So there's a big range.
Stella.
They have Stella?
Yeah, Stella's there. Stella, alcohol free.
Yeah, but do they have normal Stella?
Quack. No, I'm saying they have Stella and Stella alcohol free.
Is there a way that they'll cycle some of these in? Do you know what I mean?
I honestly do not know.
Yeah.
All I know is the same as you. Again, if the club could maybe reach out to us or ask people what they want. If they've got, at the end of the day, right? Like, I'm getting emails left, right, and centre. I've literally just got an email off the club about the Wi-Fi at the ground, because obviously they want us to share as much as they can. So let's see what they do. Wi-Fi, blah blah blah. Partnered with HPE Aruba. Interest, blah blah blah. Fans will have an option of connecting to a free SSID Wi-Fi network using the mobile network thanks to DAS. That's being installed to cover the blah blah blah. The Wi-Fi will be switched on for the game on Saturday. There's loads of other stuff. Everton free Wi-Fi, it'll say on it. Basically, you just take that. You probably have to just sign in or something. Everton aims to enhance the fan experience by offering high connectivity through the stadium, and also provide free real-time offers to increase the speed of service at digital interactive points. And there's also a shop in the ground, isn't there now? That you just, when you walk in, you tap your card, you walk in, you pick up whatever you're getting, and you walk out. But going back to the beers, I think what would be important for Everton is that Everton do talk to the fans about it, what they want. Do, like you just said, put seasonal stuff in. And then, because what you want is beers that people are willing to go in the ground to drink.
Yeah. Cool.
Because... Well,
and don't kill everyone on price.
Well, that's what I was just about to say. The price is going to be the major point. It doesn't matter what the beers are when there's going to be a line of pubs outside. No. So they've got to be the right beers and at the right price. So you've got to be willing to speak to the fan base and say, do you like this one? Do you not like this one? And get a good idea. And if there are seasonal ones you can drop in, then that would be a really good idea as well. And I'm, listening. If they're on, I'm sure they're on top of it. If they're not, come and use our audience as a sample to find out what you want. And we'll see what happens. There you go.
Fair play.
Yeah.
Fair play. Anyway, yeah. Everton doing better commercial deals, I'm all for. But there's a big range there, so hopefully Everton can get people stuff in the ground that people want. Like I've just said, do not kill people on price. We were in Atlanta United on, the Mercedes-Benz on Sunday, and the prices, they were like, oh my God, they were fantastic. They were unbelievable. Fans. Like a Coke was $2, but you could get like a souvenir cup for $4 with a thing.
Cheeseburger was like
$7.
Was it? I didn't think it was that much.
Yeah, it must have been.
Hang on, I've got the list on. I've literally got the price on my phone.
Cheeseburger was $7. I think normal burgers were $6.
Honestly, there was like an agreement made when they built the stadium that the prices had to be kept cheap, and they are kept cheap. And even for an event like that, the prices weren't put up. It was unbelievable how cheap everything was. I might have deleted the picture off my phone. I had the picture on my phone of the prices because it was ridiculous how cheap they were.
Yeah, I think I got them as well, but just to give like
the price. Basically, it was just like everyone was raving about them. The prices when we got in there, it was unbelievable. And Everton should do something similar because, because
well, that's where.
Why wouldn't you? Because there's still gonna be loads of competition, and you want people behind that wall, and there's obviously gonna be drink available behind the wall, so it's got to be at a good price. It has to be at a good price, otherwise people will just go, no thank you. And
well, they said, didn't they, the reason for doing it was they wanted people to go in and spend money in the ground, and therefore Everton hopefully whoever it is, Aramark or Everton, or get together and both do it, would you're going to encourage people to go in and spend money? We'll give them a reason to be able to spend money.
Yeah.
Don't hammer them to the point where people don't, where people just think, well, you know what, I'll just stay outside the wall and I'll go somewhere else, which is more affordable. Somewhere else. So, you know, in that way, you're going to get more wallet share, as we say, from people who aren't feeling like they're getting ripped off. And that way, the club makes more money commercially and everything else. So hopefully they do that.
Yeah, and don't go like, well, the prices in town are $7.50 a pint, so our prices are going to be $7.50 a pint. Because people will just go, nah. Because all that will happen is, other places will just go, well, we'll drop our prices down to get the people in.
To get the people
ahead of them.
And they're going to get tons of people in then, aren't they, if they do?
Yeah, so.
Gary Walters, howdy. Jake says, I think the Dibbling deal will get done next. We will get a right back in, cover James Justin, he's putting brackets. Grealish at the end of the window, and hopefully another central midfielder and a striker. Posh Matty says, so O'Brien is our permanent right back. I don't understand how people thought Jake O'Brien wasn't going to be our permanent right back.
But I don't want him to be our permanent right back, though. I don't want him to be, because he's not a right back.
But that's what he's going to do. Everything else ahead of him will be creative, and he will be the solidity. Bappy says, afternoon lads, if the Dibbling fee is around 40 to 50 million, is it not worth having a punt on Semenyo? Well, he's just signed a new deal with Bournemouth, isn't he? So that'd be pure money. Gary Woods still need a fast player on the right. Posh Matty says, just get Dibbling and Grealish over the line so we can start the season with what looks like a full squad. Can't be playing silly games towards the end of August.
Quick playing games.
We'll have to, though, Matty. We'll have to be playing those games this summer because that's the way it's planned. It's sort of panned out.
Can I ask you a question?
And that's whatever you want.
Where are we playing on Saturday?
The Hill Dickinson.
Wrong.
Aren't we? Come on.
We are playing at Hill Dickinson Stadium.
Not just Hill Dickinson
Just
Stadium.
Hill Dickinson.
Okay.
Just drop the.
Because they're not called the.
Drop the. It's cleaner, as someone once said. If you know, you know.
Okay. Blue Keeley says, if Southampton stuck to the 25% sell, and what's the most you'd want to pay for the transfer?
Say that again.
If Southampton's aren't going to budge on the 25% seller, what's the most you'd pay for the transfer then?
40. 40?
Yeah, 40, no more.
You can't have it both ways. Well, I mean, some people can. But you can't have it both ways.
Liam says, stop messing around over a few measly million and get Dibbling done.
I know, but that it's like we just said, it's not the... What happens if, you know, he's boxed, blah, 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 someone comes in for him, and he's like, that's like the 25%. That's a lot of money. That's a lot of money. And you've already paid a lot of money for him.
Jez D says, nice to have you two back in the hot seat. Exciting signings to talk about. Great coverage from the States. I must say the Cal Jones video about what Dewsbury can bring to us is interesting. I always wanted him before he went to Chelsea supermarket. I'm still amused the pacey right winger hasn't come in. If only to hear Baz bang on about it for another week. Maybe the club are just trolling him till the end of the window. At least I asked the manager, didn't I, if it was a priority, and he assured me it was. Mark Mack says, we signing the player who loves to wear their socks low. Bold prediction, we'll have the first player to play in ankle socks. I think you might be right.
Can't you have shinies on?
It feels like they do. Lou says, think Maddison being out for the season will throw a spanner in the works. Can see Spurs going for both. But for me, I really want Dibbling out the two. Genuinely think he's going to be special. Okay. Matt says, afternoon gents, great to have you back. Absolutely delighted with Dewsbury Hall, and what a very impressive interview it was. I'm all in on Dibbling and Grealish. Let's be fun again.
Yeah, that would be, wouldn't it? Especially with Njai as well.
Yeah, great to watch, wouldn't it? Benjamin says, personally, I'd move on from Dibbling and pay 30 to 35 million to get McAtee. buying him might make the Grealish deal easier, though. That's not the primary reason to sign him. McAtee stuff's gone quiet, hasn't it?
They apparently put the price up, didn't he?
Yeah.
Steve P says, Baz, thoughts on Tariq George from Chelsea. There's talk they're willing to sell him. Same age, same goal involvement in the league last season as Dibbling, while only playing 8 games. And it probably cost half the price. He's good. He looks really good. There was a few people mentioned him yesterday as well. He does look really good. Is that enough for Moyes? That he's only played a handful of games?
Where do you think
I don't know.
the Dibbling stuff's come from? As in, like, who do you think has identified him as the player? Do you think that's come from Moyes, or do you think that's come from somebody else?
I don't know, because I don't know what his his recruitment team.
It's just an interesting one, isn't it? Because normally we're so used to Moyes being a certain way, and yet this summer he's going for 2 players who are almost like carbon copies of each other, just 10 years apart. It's just so interesting.
I think the Grealish one is easy, Moyes. And it's hard. I still feel it's hard to argue against it, as long as its financials work. I understand.
Yeah.
I had a discussion with someone who was arguing against it yesterday. And Dibbling just looks like...
He'll always argue against it. He'll always.
But Dibbling's similar version to him on the right, isn't he? And therefore, it's almost like the perfect duo. One learning from the other, isn't it? So I think Dibbling... And Moyes obviously seen him. But I think Dibbling might well be from... Wouldn't surprise... I've no evidence of this, and he isn't working for Everton and can't until September. But the James Smith, who's been at City, it looks like someone City identify and keep an eye on.
Yeah.
And obviously Moyes does. He's watched a lot of football last season as well, of course. So maybe there's a bit of a crossover with them. The recruitments, whoever they are, have gone, well, this lad stands out and he looks like he's going to be it. And he's physically... which Moyes talks about. We heard him last week talking about Arsenal in the press conference, saying physically he's got to get ready for it. Dibbling sort of does that. So it is interesting, because till yesterday, everyone Everton had signed their all potential.
Yeah.
Weren't they? I mean, Travers is 26, he's a goalie, so it's fine. The other 3, Asnu's potential, Barry's potential. Obviously, Charlie is still in that mode of... He's got experience, but he's still 22.
Yeah.
You know.
No, it's just I just find that interesting. Just, you know.
Well, even like Fofana, he's only 20. So he's young. Yeah. McAtee's, 22?
Yeah.
So they are going for...
I mean, you can only get a certain... It is difficult to get that. That's why I think Dewsbury Hall's a good signing, because he is in the age bracket we sort of struggle to find players in. You know, Charlie Alcaraz he's just young, isn't he? Yeah. They're all young players, and you can build them up, and that's exactly what that person wants. He wants, but now and again you might have to dip your toe in and go, we need a little bit of experience just to bring this up a little bit, because we've lost experience. We don't want a team that has got all young players in that struggles. No. And you need and you go, we haven't got it, we need experience. So it's a balance, of course, a balancing act. Everton are going for, again, I've said it before, on a normal summer, we'd all be delighted with Everton's business. It's 5 players in before the season's kicked off. Everton don't do that, really. It's very rare that we get that amount of players over the line before the ball's being kicked, isn't it? It's just that the needs are big this summer, and that's why it's sort of thingy. So, Mendoza, the Maple Leaf Toffee, says, great to see our proud club continue its tradition as the pioneer club, now the first Premier League club to achieve living pension accreditation for all staff, another to add on to their long lists of firsts. With regards to the winger situation, who would you go for next if Dibbling doesn't happen? Antonio Nusa, will he be excellent, because he is quick, very Someone
quick.
just mentioned Sterling, but
that was mentioned the other day on loan, wasn't it?
But yeah, I just can't see past Velma from Scooby-Doo. I just can't.
He'd probably be good for us, because we don't have any.
He didn't have an orange away kit.
Okay. Mark Max says, Dibbling or Doak, who's got the higher ceiling? Fofana was only 36 million. I'd walk away from Dibbling. Yeah, but Fofana might well be only 36 million, but also might want to come to Everton.
Yeah, I think that's
he hasn't said no.
That's the biggest issue.
I think he's just he's going. I haven't said no, but I want to see me options. So who knows? Doak, I think Dibbling's probably better than Doak, personally. I think physically he's better. Ben Doak's got
more experience.
A lot of qualities, no doubt about it, quick. But feel like Dibbling physically is going to do better.
Sorry, someone in the comments just said, doesn't Sterling have a house in Birkdale? Does he?
Does he? I don't know. Barry says, welcome back, lads. What was it like being in the Everton section in the States and hearing singing, chanting in American rather than Scouse accents? Well, most of the singing was started by John Lally, who's got a Scouse accent.
Yeah. Well, I was only in the Everton section for one half, and that was in New Jersey, the second half, because the press box was absolutely garbage. Yeah. It was behind a big glass window. It was terrible. Yeah. The one in Atlanta was brilliant because it was open. And then had an ice cream machine, which John Blaine took advantage of. Well, we all did. He did more. Chicago was all right.
He had the openings in Chicago, didn't he?
Till the heavens opened. Yeah. And it proper... And then,
good.
Good. Half of New Jersey in the sun. And it was the wrong half, sadly, for me.
Yeah. I had the full one in New Jersey, in the sun. Slat says, we have a decent set-piece taker for all the free kicks we would get with Grealish and Njai making their runs and drawing fouls. That's up to James Garner to stay in the team and start popping them in, innit? He had a decent one on Sunday, which Jake O'Brien should have scored the rebound from, hit the post. Scored a cracker against Portfile in the... is it Portfile? Who did we beat for? Portfile. So the great goal at Hill Dickinson Stadium. And we asked him, didn't we, in the interview about him, and he said he's going to back himself a bit more and start shooting, so others have got to step up to it as well. Lou says you have to remember we got 50 million for Gordon at 21.
That's a good point.
After he'd only scored 3 goals for us. Correct, and he did go there and do really well at Newcastle, so... James Wallen says, just signed up to the Everton 10k in October. Ped, are you running it?
Probably.
Of course he's running it. Pat says, even if we paid 15 million for Grealish loan, that's the same as an amortised 50 million transfer fee and a 5-year contract of 100 grand a week. That's not terrible for someone of Grealish's ability and record, and by all accounts going to be less than that, and you don't own the risk of a 5-year contract. Steve P says, I'm in 2 minds on Dibbling because I believe the fee's too much and we could get better for less. But we all thought 45 million for Gordon was too much, and it ended up being a very good deal for the Barcodes, and he'd go for over 70 now. And Dibbling is a much better player at 19 than Gordon.
It was a good deal for both teams, isn't it? And that's the point, isn't it? It's finding that thing where it's like, you know, it is a good deal for both teams. As I've said, if they dropped their fee and did the sell on, then it would be better. But then that's confidence from them that the player will become a player that will get that bigger move, you know. And obviously the way, as I said, Russell Martin was talking about him, there's a lot of confidence from the club. But as I said, you just can't have it both ways.
Tim Dawson says Southampton fans and commentators seem to believe Dibbling should be going higher up the league. They can't understand them. No one else is after him. That's the way it is, isn't it?
Do you think they might be holding out for a bit more? Maybe that's what the stalling is down to. Maybe they're stalling for a bit more.
Possibly.
Hoping someone could Chelsea
I don't
back
think
in.
Anyone's going to go for it, to be honest. I think they would have gone and got it done.
That's what I'm saying, yeah.
If I just seen here, Forrest are bidding for Dylan Bachwe. We should have said before we could have gone and got him. Could have gone and got him weeks ago. Yeah, but we haven't. So that's what you'd have to ask. Why? Why has there been no interest in it? I don't know. Who knows? Paul Davies says hilarious about Newcastle Tin Pot Club. Okay, don't know what. Something else happened to Newcastle.
No.
Richard Jones says, "Hi guys, glad to have you back in your time working away in the US. Should we be concerned that throughout pre-season our strikers haven't scored enough? They haven't scored, have they? Beto scored a penalty.
Yeah.
Do we still need a striker bringing in? Well, it's funny you should say that because I just had a text about a striker that I'm not overly enamoured with. That's all. Your mate, he was under consideration. Big Mikel Antonio. Let's hope we're just helping him out. Luke says, if Ipswich are turning down 35 million for Hutchison, it's a sign that this market is crazy. Have they turned 35 million down?
Yeah.
Wow. Blue Keeley says, talks of Dom going to Sunderland. If so, that's definitely picking money over career progression. Or no one wants him, which is more likely. Adam says, I think we need to start trusting the manager and the committee. There's clearly a strategy in place, and if they feel Dibling's worth the money, they'll pay you. Then it's up to David Moyes and the coaching staff to get the best out of him.
Sorry, I've just seen this comment. El Tel on the banks of the Royal Blue, he said, watch Ped early today on French TV. Documentary on the blue documentary on his blue bubble coat. It wasn't a documentary about my blue bubble coat, surely. Reminds me of the 80s, that coat. So yeah, so if you're in France, apparently I'm in a documentary. I do remember recording that, but it was quite a while ago.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Was it good?
That's about your coat.
It's about my coat, apparently.
That's it.
Le blue bubble coat.
Les Blue. Blue Jay says, hope you've had some sleep for the jet lag. I'd be happy with Dibbling if the deal is more reasonable for the club. Looks like a talented young player, and let's be honest, the market has been saturated due to certain clubs overspending on players. A reminder that Ekitike is worth 90 million euros.
That's it, isn't it?
I'd love Grealish as well if City are prepared to pay some of the wages, another central midfielder, and cover it right back on top of that, and we'll be shaping up quite well. Richard says, looks like 50 million is the average price nowadays for players. Blue Keeley says, seen us linked to Juve winger Gonzalez. Yeah. I'm surprised we haven't made a Netflix documentary about the takeover and stadium move. Could have brought in a lot of money. Could have, but they didn't want it, I don't think. That's not to say there won't be one for next season, but Paul Davies, said that one, haven't I? Blue Keeley says, off to the punk festival now. We'll catch up with this when I'm hungover in the morning. Jay Radcliffe said, I'd obviously like to see the right side of the tackle next. I really don't want Everton to pay the quoted Dibbling price. Fatabu, Bakayoko, Minter, something of that ilk. Leicester have to sell Fatabu. It could be done. Richie O'Greelish on loan. Charlie Freak says, I put my trust in Moyes to sort the player he needs. Let's see who he brings in and I'll get behind him. Ethan says, seen us linked to Nicholas Gonzalez at Juve. Yeah, he's all right. Hard work and Argentinian. Good in the air, actually, for his size. He was very good at Fiorentina, but he's been a little bit in and out at Juve. Alex says, Breuer going for 20 million makes other deals and prices sound not so bad, because there's no way he's worth that. Jay says, maybe Villa are tempted to sell Leon Bailey, but they were tempted to sell Jacob Ramsey, weren't they? That's who I'd love to.
West Ham is still after him, apparently.
I know, but it's West Ham, isn't it? Michael Kearney says, set the standard and don't buy anything in the ground. Leave that for the tourists. Don't know what that means. Mark Mack says, we've been drinking Carling at Goodison for years. But Bud Deal is class and it includes Guinness. Anyone moaning about it is a cop-out. Look, I mean, I can't confirm that, but there you go. Would you take Tommy Yasu? Arsenal let him go, didn't he? Free.
Did he, yeah? On a free? Yeah, I'd have him on a free.
Obviously had some injuries, but free. Everton Viking says, we got 45 million for Anthony Gordon and would have received more if we hadn't been in financial ruin. Who is the same age as Dibbling was struggling to get into the Preston team. I have no issues paying 45 million all in for him. the sell-on fee is where the issue comes in. But the only people spreading that are on the Southampton side. I can imagine a compromise will be found. Benjamin James says Budweiser are the beer sponsor, not the brewer. They're the beer supplier, aren't they?
They're a beer supplier, aren't they?
Evan Viking says, as for him training alone, it came out that Southampton doing that so he doesn't get injured while in talks. Player hasn't went on strike or anything along those lines. So I imagine the deal must be close in valuation. Paul says if they charge £2 or £3 more than a pub, then I won't be drinking in there before or after the game. Yeah. Richard says, I hope they don't follow most other stadiums I've been to for concerts where the collector's cut was £10 and the pint was 8 or 9. I get we need to generate money, but it has to be affordable for the average fan. Correct. James Parry said, totally agree with the prices in Atlanta. Soldier Field was the complete opposite. It was, yeah, it was scandalous. And I was told Atlanta use all solar and recycle rainwater, which helps keep the prices down as well. Also, the automated pour system is really good. Perfect pints and no lines.
Brilliant.
There you go. Everton are having something like that, aren't they? Because that was on the email. Benjamin James says, and Kunku would be a cracking loan signing. He would. Jay says, Saints got a very good academy. Hearing how they speak about him says a lot to me. If we have to give Southampton 12.5 million, then that means we've had a 100 million player on our books and we'd still make a profit ourselves. I'd take that any day of the week. Interesting, Russell Martin sees him as a midfielder more than a winger, though. Said he's going to be an 8 or a 10, didn't he? Brandon says, new Premier member from Atlanta. Nice one, mate. Took daughter to the game. She loved it. Hated to miss the festivities, though. Timings just didn't work out. Really enjoy starting my work days with Toffee TV. Keep up the great work. Thank you very much, Brandon. Welcome. Back on YouTube here. Where are we? Vincent says, anyone know if the hot walk has moved down in time for Saturday?
I don't know if it's open for Saturday, but it's definitely moved down.
Cumbrian Toffee says, if we get Grealish in, his name alone would be a massive statement and attract other players who would usually maybe not look at us. Jorge Rodriguez says, well, he's just deleted it when I was about to read it, so fair enough. Must have been a controversial one. Wayne R says, Gary P isn't the food and drink owned by the company, he's not Everton. They will pay a big fee for selling there. I don't know. That must be in response. Michael James says Antonio isn't crap. I'm paraphrasing. He's a good player, not world class. I would have said yes too. Is it not for his leg broken in 4 places?
Could be an issue.
Yeah. Me and you will disagree. Agree to disagree on that one about whether he's good or not. But it wouldn't surprise me if Everton got him as a third choice striker, so that Chimity could go out on loan because he's free. Adam, hello. Adam Bedford. There you go. John N says, lads, how many loans do you think we'll make?
Don't know. Couple maybe. 4. Depends what we need, innit? Depends what we need as we get closer to the window.
Let's say 4. H-Dog EFC says, how many players do you think we'll get in before the end of the window? Winger, 1. Another midfielder, 2. Another striker, 3. Maybe 2. He wants 2 right wingers, doesn't he? That's 4. And then whether he thinks he needs a right back. I'm going to say 4 more. It should have 9. I said between 8 and 10. So I'll go right in the middle with 9. But he said he wants a 10.
Yeah.
So that'd be another 5. I've just seen Mike Cosgrove. I can see Spurs going in for Dibbling now that Maddison's out for 7 months. No. I can't see it. But see them going for Grealish. But we'll see. Wayne R says we should give Southampton Pato and let Armstrong go there on loan as part of the Dibbling deal. Alex says, given we've offered 40 million for Dibbling, heavily linked with spending 20 million on Lopey, the 6. If we did spend that, it'd take our spending to 150 million. Can you see us spending this without a sale? Yeah. Which again, I think I said at the start of the window, you'll spend at least between 120 to 150 because it isn't really, is it? Real money, it's whatever, 40 million or something, which is well within what Everton can afford. Headline numbers don't matter, really. It's the other commitments that you have, which add up to maybe if they spent that 40 million. I'm not sure they will spend 20 million on Lopey, and if they did, it's 20 million euros and it'd be £3 or £4 million down payment. So it's relatively buttons for that. But we'll see, won't we? Everton, who could Everton sell? That's the thing. You're looking at it going, who could we sell to bring some money back in?
Yeah.
Patterson maybe, but how much are you really getting for Nathan Patterson?
Someone's just asked there, where have we got all the money? I don't think it's where we've got all the money. It's because there's not so much money going out the door. Although all those loans we were facilitating and all those contracts and you know, you forget how much money was going out the door. We've spoke about it so often of service and loans and all these kind of things that we were having to do. That's not going out the door now. And we can get better deals because we've got better financial options. So it all plays its part.
Well, it's dead simple, isn't it? A big chunk of money's dropped off the PSR on July the 1st, 60 million or whatever it was gone. So therefore that creates a headroom. Every club plays up to the 105 million losses, everybody, including them. Everybody, right? So therefore 60 million goes off. Everton have got an upturn straight away of at least 35 to 40 million in this next financial year, but just by moving grounds. Then you've got money from Hill Dickinson. Then you've got, like you just said, loans. That Paul Joyce reported a while ago, the way they've redone the loans is saving Everton £50 million a year.
Yeah.
So if you add all those numbers together, you get yourself into a position where Everton could be like 100 odd million better off. Now, when you're looking at that cash, you've just got to justify the financial year. So Everton could spend Liverpool have spent 350 million or something so far this window.
Yeah.
But they haven't, have they? They probably spent about 70, 80 million. Really. The headline number's 350 million. But what they've actually spent will be whatever, probably 70, however it's worked out. If they get Isak for 150 million, they don't pay Newcastle 150 million, do they? They pay Newcastle 30 million or something this summer. Then they paid them 30 million again next summer and 30 million. And that's how it's done. And therefore, you've got to get yourself in that financial year on the front foot, and that's what Everton are on right now. So if Everton end up spending £40 million this summer, cash-wise, got to remember with these deals that it's £40 million next summer as well, and 40 million the summer after. But within that cycle, you're selling players, and you should be making better commercial deals, so you should always give yourself that headroom. Jarrad Branthwaite will leave Everton in the next couple of years, and for a big fee, and that money will go all the way back in, and that'll fund the next set of transfers. That's how you have to look at it. If you finish higher up, prize money comes in, gives you that extra money. Players have gone off the wage bill. So, wouldn't we spending the money if we couldn't afford it? Would we? And there's money there to be spent, so that's what they're trying to do. Don't forget, we spent 70 million the other season when we got Onana and people like that. We had no money. But because of the way the deals could be structured, that money was spent. And we still spent about 40 when Dyche come in, when we really didn't have any money, because we got Beto for £1.5 million or something for the year. And so it's just the way they do the deals. So keep spending, that's what I say. Keep spending. And then aim to get it back. That's all you can do. Of course you're committing to it, Alex. That's football. It's exactly what football is. you spend money every year. So you've got to get into the position of accepting that every couple of years you sell a player. That's what everybody does. Liverpool are doing it now, aren't they? Liverpool spent crazy money, like transfer window ruining money is what Liverpool have spent this year. They've destroyed the market. But they're also getting 50 odd million in today for Darwin Núñez. They want to sell Harvey Elliott for 50 million. They want to sell someone else for 30 million. They got 25 million for the goalie. So they'll end up, by selling players, is able to fund other deals. That's at every club. You got to get out of this thing now. You don't have to sell players. Everyone does it. Just depends what level it is. Yeah. And can everyone leave the Mangala alone as well? The lad is recovering from an ACL. Why would we take a risk on that? Having to pay a loan fee and wages to Leon to get him back when we don't even know he's fit. No. Nope. No, thank you. He done quite well. But it restricts your future windows. That's surely what the financial people are there for, mate. Aren't they? And the CEO. They know exactly how much they're going to spend. Everton need players. They need 10 players. So Everton were always going to have to spend quite heavily in this window and go right up to the line. It's what they should be doing. John Blaine will tell you that. Play right up to the line, close to the line as you can. Next summer, maybe sell someone. Or you work on the cycle of we're getting better deals in. Next summer, though, you'd hope Everton only need 3 or 4 players. They don't need 10. That's how you'd have to do it. Otherwise, you can't leave money on the table and go, well, we want to spend that next summer. But don't forget, next summer, another chunk of PSR drops off. So, there you go. That's how you do it. There you go. That's it. Last one on Premier. See, if Everton, with all of those loans getting cut back and all that, Everton could, for all we know, Everton might have £90 million headroom, but they're only going to spend 45, 50, so they're not really restricting it. They're just not going to play right the way up. Or they might have, Everton could come out of this window and still have maybe, I don't know, £15 million headroom or something. That's what you've got to do, haven't you? We can't hold back and go, well, we'll go sure because we want to keep that money for next year. Can't do that. You got to go.
You got to have a plan over 3 years, haven't you? Got to have a plan so you know where you're going to be in 3 years. And that plan hasn't been there. It's just been so scattergun because no one knew where the money was coming and we have had to sell and stuff. You got to have a plan over 3 years. Knowing who you're going to bring in, knowing who you're going to sell, bringing that money back in, and building. That's what everyone does. That's how people, Kevin Felwell told us that last year. You're planning 3 years ahead. Everton can't do that and haven't been doing that. It's got to be part of the process. And
then the other thing is prize money. You get better players and you finish higher up. The prize money's bigger and that creates room
European
in
football.
Could get into Europe.
Bigger sponsors.
Far in a cup where you've got loads of home games, so that revenue's coming in.
Taylor Swift playing at
all
the
of
new
that
ground.
comes in next year. Also £10 million a year off Hill Dickinson. All of this rolls into why deals like Budweiser are important, the money they're paying. Christopher Ward, all of these other people, founding partners, all of that money's important in coming in. But we're still going to have to get in a position where we sell a player every couple of years, and that's why you've got to buy assets and develop them. That's how you have to do. Kevin Blazeta says, welcome to big Mikel Antonio. Brutal, but at least the rest of our business is encouraging.
Gary P, thank you for the super chat that you said nothing on. Feel free to just add a comment right now.
Jay says, oh no, I've done that one. I haven't gone, have we? Yeah. Lou says, I know you aren't that radio station that talks about football and other things, biggest fans, but have you seen the Newcastle fans calling up and crying?
No.
No, because we don't watch it. I mean, why is that just come on? I don't know. No, but if they are, it's their own fault. They should demand the club acts like a big club, and they're not.
Someone just emailed me about the Dibbling 25%. I know it's on profit, but I still just think it's just cheeky. It's cheeky.
Jay Ratcliffe says, you mentioned Amadou Onana earlier. It still burns me out that Dyche got rid. I thought he was and is brilliant. Well, he is, but Dyche didn't want him, did he? Because the lad wanted to play with the ball and Dyche didn't want the ball. And so he bombed him out the team as quickly as he could in the end, and then moaned when we sold him to suit his own narrative. But Onana was really good. They've been better with it, and he is better in a football team, and he's still developing. But Everton could do with a similar type profile right now to sit in front of the back four, but we'll see. Jay says, if Moyes is in on Dibbling, I will be massively behind it. Lovely to have a manager who we can trust. Correct. And he says, Baz, as fans, we've been traumatised over the last few years from overspending. It's like it built him. I know, and I'm bloody traumatised as well, having to speak about it every day for years, Jay. But what I'm saying is, we've got new owners, very, very, very wealthy owners that blitz Mashiri. And they've put a structure in place. They've got good financial people involved. If they're looking and deciding that we can pay these fees for players, then maybe we have to trust that a little bit.
To my owners who got UEFA fines because of the money they spent at Roma to get them to win the Conference League. So I think they've learned a lesson from that, but they're not. You know, they know what they know. They want to put money into. It's just putting in the right places.
G says, I just don't see Dibbling as a Moyes signing. The lad was unplayable for Southampton last season, and not in a good way. All the ability in the world, and he's got a ceiling like the Sistine Chapel, but he's so naive off the ball. No slight on the lad as he's still young, but he's got a lot to learn. One amazing lazy run can be completely undone by not tracking a run or getting the press wrong. Moyes would be a great mentor for him, but he's the opposite of a solid player who Moyes can trust. Everton wouldn't be going for him the way they are, though, G, if Moyes hadn't backed it. Get your points, but that's what Moyes is there for, isn't he? Coaching that into him, making him work harder off the ball. And that's why, for me, it makes perfect sense having Jake O'Brien behind him, who is solid. Liam says, to me, it seems with the likes of Dibbling transfers are difficult because the whole point is to buy young and develop them and sell them on. If he's 40 to 50 million, where's the margin in selling on?
That's the problem, isn't it?
Well, that's up to him, isn't it? That's up to him to come in and be good, and then you're seeing the prices for average players. If he comes in and is good, then his transfer fee goes to 75, 80 million straight off because he's doing it in the Prem. They're the margins, aren't they? Martin says, sorry if this is late watching Behind the Live. This Dibbling deal for me, even though it's it does not make you happy. I think we're trying to buy players like him rather than selling them like we have done. Yeah, of course. I mean, the other thing to look at is we paid 40 million for Richarlison at a time when 40 million was a lot higher than what 50 million is now, if that makes sense. We bought Richarlison in 2018, didn't we? For 40. I know everyone sings 50 million, but it wasn't. It was 34 million down payment, rising to 42, I think, in the end, and it never got there because we never got in the Champions League. But we paid 40 million quid for him at a time when he'd had one season for Watford. Now, I know he come in and was brilliant, so no one looks back at it going 40 million for him because he was great and we got 60 for him when we sold him or whatever it was. So you have to look at that. This is 7 years later, and this Dibbling might be 10 million more.
Yeah.
So if he comes in and does really well, and Everton sell him for 75, 80 million quid, then everyone will say that's a good deal. He come in, done really well for us, and we ended up making 20, 30 million pound profits on him, and that goes back in. I guess that's how you have to look at it, isn't it?
It's just, yeah, but Charlison obviously had done a bit more in the Premier League. Well, done a little bit more.
One season, he's got 5 goals.
I'm saying he'd done a little bit more, hadn't he, in the Premier League? But you're right. Surely someone can work out the
inflation, like what it is with inflation. Yeah. Jay says, what are you saying about the Fantastic Four, Ped? I'm off to see it tonight.
Just go and see it, mate.
You enjoyed it, didn't you?
I enjoyed it, yeah.
you
Times Square.
Benjamin says this market at the moment just shows how important it is to get players in earlier, as they could be cheaper. It does, but that's hopefully, Benjamin, what we go to. We've done it with Asnu, haven't we? We've gone and got him in earlier, but we can't get all of our players like that because we need players now, don't we? So, fingers crossed. Richard says, had a job interview this morning, feeling good about it, and also feel a right-sided winger is incoming. Well, good luck on the job front. Kevin Maloney says, are the only people in the last year of their contracts Garner and Keane, Michalenko. Next summer, should less bodies be needed so we can look for quality and hidden gems? Well, that's it, isn't it? The best way to do it is that it was a big summer this summer. Next summer's a lot less players, therefore you can spend a little bit more on quality, but also maybe grab a couple of those ones who are as new, like where you can develop. And hopefully, Yusuf Chimiti as a strong loan and comes back as a first-team player. Harrison Armstrong, if he is to go out on loan, as a great loan and comes back as a first-team player. And then there's 2 young players back in the mix, ready to go. And again, reduces the need. So that's got to be Everton's overall plan, hasn't it? Whether it plays out like that, who knows? It's on the players to do it, and it's on the recruitment team. But that has got to be the plan. Right, the last couple, we are going to go now. MW76 says, trivia cage match to determine the true champion of Toffee TV. We all know when I'm awake, I'm the true champion. But Ped is the current champion holder. He beat a room full of Toffees. So I don my cap to him, or whatever that saying is. Doth, whatever it is. Kev Maloney says, does the 25% go the other way if we sold them at a loss? If you put that in, yeah. If we sell them at a loss, you have to give us 25% back. Shouldn't he? Won't see it happening, but James, welcome to James as a YouTube member. And the quick inflation calculation from Baz Travels says on 40 million over 5 years at 5%, so it works out to 51 million. That's what we'd have to pay now for Richie and the same thing.
Yeah, interesting.
There you go. And hack on the super chat says, buy Ped a chocolate cookie for each sneaker from me.
Why not?
I don't know. But Gary P, thank you very much for the super chat. We mentioned it before, but thank you very much. Doesn't want to make a comment, just says no worries, lads. Keep up the good work. But thank you very much, Gary. Much appreciated. Dave Wilson is a new member as well. Nice one, mate. Is that it? We done? Yeah, we're going. If you're a Toffee TV Premier member, we will see you at 5 p.m. Everybody else, have a fantastic afternoon. Just all send transfer vibes to Everton to get. If it's dibbling, we want. All just think positively. Send them all at 2:15. Just spend 20 seconds. See if it works. Put it out there. Right? See you later.